Hello there and welcome back to MonLabo Linux. So today we're going to be talking about SSH config file. Yeah, you heard me right. SSH config file. So if you don't know what that is, I'm going to explain that right here for you and going to make it very simple. So the thing is, I have these two machines, for example, okay, that you can see. And here I have the terminal, which is my preferred part, and I can go to this one as well, the terminal here. So now on this side here, I want to be able to SSH to this machine, okay? And if I was to do this SSH, I believe I have fish store on this, okay, yeah. So if I was to do SSH, okay, to the remote machine, you will see that okay, is asking for my password, and then I'm going to provide my password, which will be and enter. And then once I enter my password, it now says it's not going to create something like this called non-host, and it's going to put the user, I mean, all the information about that host inside, so that next time the host can log in. Yeah. So as of now, I can see that I have access to the Rocky Linux machine from Ubuntu. And the thing is that I'm kind of tired of giving the password all the time with that. So what I will do is I'm gonna try to generate an SSH key so that I can connect to the remote machine. So now let me exit from there, and I will do something like SSH dash key gen. Okay. So first of all, I will check if I have any SSH folder here. Yep, I do have one. Let me go inside and see what is there. And if I do ls, I see I have authorized key and non-host. Okay. So non-host are the list of hosts that have been able to connect to this machine in the past. So if you type this, you should see yeah, some information about the host itself and any other stuff. And here you might see the same thing as well. Okay, and if you go to .ssh, you do ls, you will see non-host, and if you do cat onto that, you will see this as well. So you will see 192.168.1.63, which is just the IP address of this machine here. Okay. Not sure why here it was a bit different. I couldn't see the IP address of the host. Probably it is encrypted. Okay. Probably it is encrypted, or probably it is base 64 encoded, something like that, and we cannot see it. So, but that's okay. Here you can see that we have the list of hosts, okay, that have been able to connect to this machine in the past. So what we propose to do is to generate keys, okay, because if I was to come here and check, you will see that I have authorized keys, but I don't have any. So if I do cut on authorized keys, I have this, but that's from my physical machine itself, okay. And here, if I try to do the same, uh, okay, so authorize keys, I don't have anything for this one. Okay, so why don't we now do SSH dash key, okay, gen. So the first thing first is that you're going to create your key. I know where we are going to end up, but I'm going to explain step by step why you need that. Okay, so the first thing is that you're going to create your key. So now when you create your key, it's going to ask you which type of key you want to create. By default, this one is the one of the most secure, which is the ED 25 51 and 9. So you're gonna type enter, but if you want a precise ending, you have to type SSH keygen -t, and then you type it, and then you can even put some comments as well. Okay, so for example, if I do SSH keygen yeah, keygen, okay, and then I can put the type like this and put whatever I want, the EG25 something, or and then I can also put a comment. Okay, so now for the comment I can put something like I would say Ubuntu 25.04, yeah, machine, something like that. So this is the comment that will go, sorry, I believe it might be capital C here. So this is the comment that will go along my key, so that on the other side I can see and identify that this is really the key for my machine. So now I'm going to just type enter, and you see the location here where it is going to create it. So under the location of my home directory, and then the .ssh folder where we are currently in. You don't need to be there to do that. And then you're going to have the ID of the key here. So it's going to create two. So I'm just going to type enter, and I'm not going to put any passphrase for now. So I'm going to type enter again, and it's asking me to confirm the passphrase. I didn't enter anything, so I will type enter. Now it has created the key. Okay, so once it creates the key, it will tell you that, hey, we have the perp key and we have the private key. So one thing that I want to tell you, never share the private one, the one not ending with .perp, and never share, you can share the one ending with pub, which stands for public. Okay, this is the command within my key. Okay, so now if we check again, we will see that we have those two keys, which are these ones. Okay, so I'm showing because I'm already inside the .ssh under my home folder. Now if I do cat on that pub key, okay, on that id .perp, okay, so I can see that I have that comment right here. All right, and now I'm going to copy that over this machine. All right, so for me to copy that, I can type SSH and then type the up arrow key, and it's not going to be SSH exactly, it's going to be SSH dash copy. Okay, dash copy dash ID. Yeah, and now I have to put the name of the user that I intend to connect to is the same username. I can even leave it like this. Okay, I can even leave it like this because it's the same username. When you have the same username on your home machine, you don't need to provide the username again. And then I can now type enter. Okay, looks like it needs the name. That's weird on Ubuntu. Maybe I'm just doing some mistake, but okay, let's do that. Let's type and Sterling and then @ sign. So if I type, oh yeah, what is going on here? Let me check. Oh, that might be because I'm using the -v probably. So I'm just gonna do whatever I was trying to do earlier. So let's remove this and type enter. And here you can see that it says that it's gonna install this over the remote machine. Okay. And so are we okay with that? Let's put our password for the remote machine, not this machine. And then it says that one key was copied over. Okay, so now if you come here, you do ls, you do cat authorize key, you will see that there is a second key here that says Ubuntu 2504 machine. So this is the key that has been copied over. Now if you come here, you try to do SSH. Okay, so if you try to do SSH, let's see what we got. So immediately goes ahead and log in because the authentication where the key, okay, is the one that is more preferable for SSH. But when you don't have any key, you have to go through the password, which is less secure, and someone can guess your password along the way. So it's better to do that with the key, because this is called asymmetric key. So you have a public key, you have a private key. You send over the private key, and then the public key, and then sorry, the private key, the public key, and then you can keep the uh, the private one that you will authenticate to the server with. So now we are connected to the remote server, but something that you might notice is that every time when I want to connect, okay, I have to type this long thing here. And what if I have multiple servers, for example? That would be a waste of time, okay? So this is where we need the SSH client configuration. So the SSH client, the system-wide SSH client configuration is hidden under /etc/SSH slash SSH underscore config. Okay, SSH underscore config. This is the client, not the server. So if you need a video on the server, let me know so that I can do that. But for now, I'm just concentrated on this one. And here are some arguments that you can use in your configurations. Okay, here are some arguments that you can use in your configuration. For example, you can use this. For example, okay, the identity file, the port number. If you want to change the port number to connect to the server, maybe the server has changed the way the port number from where it listened from, and then you have other stuff, for example, for what agent or whatever. So you have all those configurations that you can check. Additionally, you can also do a man on this and see more configuration. For example, if we were to copy this and then you type man on SSH underscore config, you will see that you have open SSH client configuration file here, and then you can go ahead and see what needs to be done. And then this is the one that you are going to use, because this is the system-wide configuration file for your machine. But now we are going to do this for a single user, because this one affects all the users. Okay, so we can get to use that specific configuration, a system-wide configuration, to customize our own. Okay, and then from there we are going to be able to do just that. So so to make it really fast, okay, what you need to do, you need to create under the .ssh folder of your home directory. So if I do pwd, okay, so you see that I'm inside my home directory under the .ssh folder, and here you need to create a config file. Okay, so that will be at your user level, not for all the users. All right, so now if you want to do something that will affect all the users, you can create that under this location here. .d, but you can create that here. Okay, so if I was to use tree, no, it doesn't exist there. So ls -l. So you see here is the folder under which you can put a system-wide configuration that will affect all the users. But we want to do that. This is a customized one that is recommended to put there. But we want to do our own only for our user. Okay, because when you work within a team, you might be you might need configuration that are really appropriate to your case. So in that case, we're gonna do what is that? We're gonna do a create that file. So we do I'm used to Vim. I'm not sure why Vim is not installed here, but I can also use nano. So nano, and then we will do what is that? Yeah, config. And then once you are here, for shortcut, I'm gonna just copy something from my physical machine here, where I have all this stuff here already. So if I was to do cat on that file, not here, dot ssh config, so you will see that I have some here for most of my machines. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this one for Rocky 10, which is the exact same one that I have there, which is any by 145. And then if I paste that here, I'm going to explain you here. So you put host, and then here you put an alias, so any kind of name that you want to call that host with. Okay, and then here you put host name. Host name is, it can be an actual host name, okay, of a machine, or maybe it's IP address. You use the host name if you have DNS enabled. And here you can put the IP address or whatever, and you can also, I think, put some regular expression. So in my case, I'm using the IP address. Then you put the port number. By default, it's port 22. You might not need to put that, but you can put it so that it knows that at this that it's port 22. If you don't put that, okay, you can override with -O option when you use the SSH config, the SSH command line. Then you have the user that you want to connect with, which is and Sterling. And finally, not finally, but you have other stuff that you can put there. But in my case here, I have the identity file. So the identity file is your private key, not the public key, but the private key. Okay. So now you put that here, and you have to put ID. What was that key again? So let's save this. So we're gonna do Control X, and then I'm gonna say yes, and then type enter. So sorry, I have to take that key again. ID underscore this. Okay, this is the name. That's just a name, but for the public, for the private that I want, so they will be the same. We just have this. So now I can go back here and come here and put that. Okay, so I will put that here. Oops. And then paste that here. So now, oops, what did I do? Okay, so now what I will do is I'm just going to connect using this name here. Okay, this alias name. So I'll just do Control O, type enter, and Control X. Okay, so let's cut the file to make sure that it is there. Oops. And then, yep, I have it. So now if I do SSH and I do, instead of typing this whole thing, I just type Rocky 10. Okay, I can put it -V, and then you will see that I'm logged in immediately. Okay, so if you like what you see, please consider be a hero for this channel. We want to grow as a community and do this.